Hey you all, also hi to fellow dressmakers. You're welcome to another interesting tutorial. My name is Confidence. In this video, I'll be showing you how to sew this beautiful long Ankara flare dress with an outer pocket or slant pocket. In the last video, we cut all of the pieces together, and in this video, I'll be showing you how to put them together. So if you haven't seen that video, please do well to go check it out because this will make more sense to you. And this is a combination of two dresses. The down part will be exactly this down part here, while the upper part is this one, except for this sleeve which I changed to a long sleeve. Without wasting much of your time, let's get right into sewing.
Hello, you don't even know my name, but I am happy you came by.
So after cutting and interfacing the fabrics, this is what I have. I have the side front, the center back, the side back. I use the paper stay as an interface here, and I use the dog face as the lining. The only difference you'll see here is that the padding will be going to the lining. So I interface the wording to the lining instead of the main fabric because I want the main fabric to be really seamless. You know how wording can give like a very thick seam line. I don't want that to be on the main fabric. I want it to be on the lining. Okay, so that's the difference. But joining, every other thing will be the same. So I'll go ahead and take the center front this way, take the side, match up the under bust which I notched, and I'm going to join it. It's a princess bustier, right? Just go ahead and join it the same way you join your princess bustier. I'll do the same thing for the lining. I'll do all of that, iron it to have something like this. So do it to iron out your bustier after joining it to have something like this. Now on the inside, this is what it looks like, and what I'm going to do is to cut off this excess allowance here because I don't want the allowance there to be really bulky. So I'm going to trim out the excess allowance. Do not trim too much, just trim it the same way you see me doing it here. Then I'm going to place it the same way and take the main fabric which I already joined to and ironed out like this. You can decide to trim out the allowance, seam allowance there, or you just leave it. So just match up the neckline, then you're going to turn it there. After turning, you're going to top stitch on the lining. Then you're going to close this side. Make sure that whatever you have on the shoulder, on the pattern, go and check your pattern again. Make sure you have it after sewing. And then to have a really neat work, you're going to stitch with your hemming gun. Go ahead and just join it, close that part, the neckline and that part to have something as neat and seamless like this. Can you see? Lately, I use the 1-inch hemming gum for something like this because the hemming gum cannot hold anything again. So I just use it to give me a neat and flat surface like this without having any hope that it's going to hold anything, just to give me a neat finishing. So I also did the same thing for the back, just as you can see it here. Now what I'm going to do now is to place it like this, right side facing right side. Then I'm going to turn the shoulder. Please, if you haven't tried this method before and you want to try it, just take your time. Just know that good things take time. Okay, you're going to turn it like this, then you're going to stitch. Like I said, this particular method will take your time, but it gives better results. Can you see? So there is an excess on the lining, just so it's not showing on the right side of the fabric, right? So there is an excess there. Like I said, if you cannot do this, just go ahead and join it anyhow you want, and then later you interlock it. But if you must do this method, take your time because it will really take longer time than just joining it the normal way, obviously. The next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and join these sides, and I want to go for this kind of finishing. So I'll hold the main fabric together like this and then close it with my allowance. Then after closing the main fabric, I'll also hold the lining the same way. Okay, just go ahead and hold the lining the same way. But if you don't want to do this method, just go ahead and do your normal method, but at this point just go ahead and close the sides, right? So I'll do that, do the same thing for the other side and come back. So this is what it looks like after joining the sides, and now I have the down part open and the armhole too, but I top stitched on the armhole just to hold the two fabrics together, right? The next thing you're going to do is to take your sleeve. Go ahead and do any style you want, but I'm going for this style. Don't know how to explain it. It looks like a shirt or cuff sleeve, but it's just a simple sleeve style, just a straight sleeve. Then this part that you're seeing, I cut it out straight too, with the circumference of that point that it starts. Just straight, there is no curve anywhere. And I use them 3 layers each of paper stay on both the one I use as the main fabric and then the lining. I use the same Ankara as the lining too, just to turn it. Okay, so you're going to take your sleeve like this, whatever sleeve you want to use, just go ahead and use this method. Remember on the pattern we used 4.5, I measured them now on the fabric and it's about 5 inches, so I will just mark that 5 inches, measure what I have here left, measure it on the armhole of the dress. I'm sorry you can't see that, but I'm just measuring the armhole and it's the same with what I have on the sleeve. Then you're going to come down anything between 1 inch to 2 inches, depending on how cold you want the shoulder to be. But I came down 2 inches, then I'm just going to connect it like this. It's as simple as that. But the sleeve is not going to be straight, right? Remember we cut out something on the shoulder of the main bodice, so it's not going to be straight. Then I'll just go ahead and cut it out like this, giving like half-inch joining allowance, and take another fresh fabric, place it under it like this. Make sure the folded part is going to the folded part of the sleeve. Then you're just going to cut it out. This will serve as a facing, nothing serious. If you want, you can use bias to pipe, or you use the same fabric to pipe, but I choose to go for facing. So I'll cut it out and give it a slant curve this way. Go ahead and interface it, and then get the midpoint, and I'm going to join it. Just place the midpoint of that facing to the midpoint of the fabric, then you're going to turn it out. And this is what it looks like after doing that. Can you see how neat? So I pressed the paper stay on the facing and that's it. Now I'm going to trim out this excess that I have here. You can just use your fabric glue to, stick the facing and then the sleeves together, or you just stitch them together on your machine. Anyone you choose to do, go ahead and do it. Then I'll go ahead and trim out the excess I have on this armhole area. Remember I said I stitched it together, so I'm going to like trim it off the same way you see me doing it. And after doing that, I'll take the sleeve. For the sleeve, I have the part going to the front and I have the part going to the back. So I'll make sure to get that. Then I'll go ahead and fix the sleeve. So now if you notice on the sleeve, it's just exactly what I have with the armhole. That's the essence of using the right measurement to cut your sleeve. And I have a detailed tutorial on how to go about your basic sleeves. I'll fix the sleeves, then fix my zipper because I just want us to be done with the upper part so we can move to the down part. And this is what it looks like after all of that. So by the time you're done, you should have something like this. Whatever sleeve you choose to use, you should have something like this. Do not expect that the sleeve and then the armhole area would be the same. No, because your shoulder and from your shoulder it's slanted going to the sleeves. I have what I should have here, so I'm not worried. I ended up using a black zipper and this is what it looks like. And I left a space that I will be joining the down part to the upper part. And now let's go over to the down part. You're going to take a fresh fabric like this particular fabric. We are using another color for the facing. Then you're going to place it, place the skirt under it like this. Okay, make sure you have a space just like as you can see it here. Make sure you have this kind of space I have here. Then you measure what you have, what you marked out here, and then you're going to take out the skirt like this and measure that same thing you just measured on the skirt. The facing width. I'll go ahead and measure it all the way to the down. Whatever you have at the upper part, you should have the same thing at the down part, and then you curve it to have this shape. Then I'm going to add a 1 inch folding allowance. I'll be folding this part, I'm adding allowance here, and I'm adding 1 inch because half-inch is kind of small. I want to really see what I'm doing while folding, right? Then I'm going to cut it out this same way and then use this one to trace out on another one. Okay, do well to always mark the wrong side of your Ankara. I marked on the right side, while cutting out, but I just indicated the wrong side now, right? So I'll go ahead and interface this with my paper stay to have something like this. And I folded that part I added allowance to. I'll go ahead and trim off the excess here, all this pointy part, just to have a smooth curve. Then I'll take the skirt like this. I'm going to place the facing the same way. Make sure the upper part of the facing is going to the waistline, and then you're going to top stitch all around. But I'll just take the this part of the pocket and place it like this and go ahead and join it together before I top stitch on the pocket facing. And after that, this is what I have. Can you see that? So if stitching the facing first before joining this one, turning with this one will be easier for you, go ahead and do it. But after turning, top stitch on this part of the pocket, right? Then you're going to take the other um part of the pocket, place it right side facing right side this same one, then go ahead and join it. But I want to do a French seam, which also help to strengthen the stitch of the pocket, so that it doesn't lose over time, right? So I'll go ahead and place it wrong side to wrong side. I'll join it. Then after that, I will now turn it right side facing right side. So just to have something like this. If you've been following me on this channel, you should know what French seam is by now. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and arrange it the same way you see me doing it. Take your time, arrange it very well. You already cut out the pocket, so arranging it will not be a big deal. Once you arrange it well, it will form to something like this. Okay, take your time, arrange it very well. Make sure no fabric is folding under or anything like that. Make it very smooth, just the same way you see me doing it. Once you are sure that it's really flat under, then you're going to pin it down the same way. Just go ahead and pin it down and make sure whatever you have, this excess fabric of the pocket, make sure it's the same thing you should have. You can just take out that part that you cut out before, place it on it, make sure it's aligning so that you don't add any other thing to the waist measurement, right? Except you want excess. Then you're going to trim out this part. It's always going to be like this. Just go ahead and arrange it so that you can trim it off. You can see how I gave it a smooth curve on this part. I'll do the same thing on this other end, just a smooth curve this way, and that's it. Now you're going to just stitch it on that point, but I want to do a French seam again. I'll make sure I hold it right wrong side to the wrong side. I'll turn it, then I'll turn it to right side facing right side and join it just to have something like this. Can you see? This will save me extra cost of weaving. I'll still weave the other parts of the clothes, but at least everything is so expensive these days. So I'll go ahead and stitch it on this part I showed you and iron it. And I couldn't iron because just as I was about to iron, they took the light. But this part I already ironed before they took the light, and you can see how flat and seamless it looks. You should have something like that. Since it's something we can do without ironing, we'll do that after we are done with the whole dress, right? I'll just go ahead and place the back skirt and go ahead and join it. Make sure this white part here is not going to your stitches. Make sure you stitch behind that white line. Then on this part, I'm going to hold it very smooth this way. Make sure it's flat like this. You can just go ahead and pin it down. Then I'm going to give it a dart shape on the end. Then I'll stitch half inch all the way to the up, right? Just give it a dart shape on the end so that it will blend into the other part you did not cut out. That's if you did not cut out yours, just like me. Okay, so after that, this is what it looks like, and you can see the dart shape I was saying. Give it a pencil shape on the ending part, right? Then you're going to arrange it like this. Notch the midpoint of the skirt, the front part of the skirt or flare. Okay, then you're going to take the upper part. Make sure you also notch the midpoint the same way, and then you match up those part that you notch the midpoint, pin it down. You're going to make sure that you see that line, the center front of the upper part. That is where this pocket facing will be starting. Okay, just the same way you see me doing it. Watch closely. I do not need to explain too much, but make sure that the end of the pocket facing is exactly on your dart line of the upper part, right? Pin it down, take your time, right? You just want to get it right. So take your time, arrange it, make sure the pocket facing is exactly on the midpoint of the dart line of the upper part. There is no dart for the down part. Okay. Then I have some excess here, which I will just give it a very tiny pleat that you won't even know that there are pleats there. I'll repeat the same thing here. Make sure that the pocket facing is exactly on the midpoint of the dart of the upper part. Okay. So where the center front stops, that's where the pocket facing will be starting. I'll pin it down, and every other place is very simple. Just go ahead and join it and come out. It's actually the same with what I have here. Like it's aligned with the center back like this. So I'll go ahead and join with my 1/2 inch, hem the down part, and this is it. Can you see how neat? Make sure your zipper is matching up at the back, at the center back. That's a nightmare for some people, but you should try and master that. And this is the pocket. So beautiful and very neat. I also hem the down part like I said and iron it neatly. And the upper part looking so pretty. I don't even know which one is the highlight, if it's the upper part or the down part. But this dress is so beautiful. From the cold shoulder or the keyhole shoulder to the slanted pocket or outer pocket to the sleeves, everything is just on check. And this will be the end of our tutorial today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you on my next one. Be good. Bye.